So that's the bends. I need you to understand the steps that are involved in the bends. They're right up here. You could pause the video and write them down. Breathe in nitrogen gas. When you dive down, it turns to a liquid. A liquid nitrogen goes into your blood. You feel drunk. When you come back up, it turns back to a gas. Oh no, your blood vessels are going to explode. That's what the bends are, and it happens to us. We're a mammal. What I just talked about were some marine mammals. And the reason why I put down how far they could dive and how fast they come up is how come they don't get the bends? What they have that we don't have is a collapsible lung. A collapsible lung allows them to dive down and come back up and not get the bends. What it is our lung is attached to our rib cage. Marine mammals are not. As they dive down, their lung collapses to the back of their throat. Now that it's in their back of their throat, now this is where the liquid nitrogen is going to form. Liquid nitrogen has an awful taste. So as it forms in their throat, then they just spit out the liquid nitrogen. That way, it never goes in their blood. They don't feel the drunk. And then when they come back up, because it's not in their blood, they don't get gas bubbles forming in their blood and making them explode. So seals, sea lions, walruses, dolphins, whales, all of them have a collapsible lung, which allows them not to get the bends. All right, what's another thing that marine mammals have that we don't have? Well, we talked about it before. Let's talk about it again and write it down in our notes. Number 2 is that they have a lot of blubber. By having a whole lot of blubber, it does 2 things. It keeps them warm and allows them to dive down deep. Again, because it's a shock absorber that keeps their bones from breaking. We're talking about what marine mammals have that we don't have that allows them to live in the marine environment. There's another thing that marine mammals do that we don't do. Unless you're David Blaine. It's this. I erase. Bradycardy. What this is what marine mammals do that we don't do. Again, unless you're David Blaine. What it is they slow down their heart rate. A seal, when it's just sitting on a rock doing absolutely nothing, a seal's heart rate is about 120 beats per minute. But when the seal is out there diving, swimming down, looking for fish, even though it's moving, what it does is it slows its heart rate down to about 10 beats per minute. By slowing down its heart rate, its heart muscle is moving less. And because it's moving less, it's using less oxygen. What we're getting at is how can they hold their breath for so long? They slow down their heart rate, and then they shut off their blood supply to non-essential organs. A non-essential organ would be your stomach. So when they're down there, going down, getting food, they slow down their heart rate, and then they turn off all their blood vessels to their stomach. So now there's no blood going to its stomach. It's eating a whole bunch of food. It's going into their stomach, but there's no blood vessels going to the stomach so it could digest the food. If there's no blood vessels, then it's going to use its oxygen at a slower rate. It's why most marine mammals, after they eat, then they go up to land and then they just chillax. Then they open up their blood vessels to their stomach so they can digest their food. It's why the seal could hold its breath for 20 minutes. It's why the erm whale could hold its breath for 90 minutes. That's how long it could hold their breath. And how the elephant seal could hold its breath for 2 hours. Because they slow down their heart rate and shut off their blood supply to non-essential organs. David Blaine, you ask? Yes, that's what David Blaine did. If you YouTube David Blaine on Oprah, you'll see it. And what David Blaine does is they have heart rate monitors. What he did is he just turned off his brain. He lowered his heart rate down to 45 beats per minute. It was barely moving. David Blaine was underwater. They told the crowd to be quiet. Shh, shh, don't say anything. Because if David Blaine would have heard some noise, then the part of his temporal lobe would become more active. Blood vessels in his temporal lobe would expand, bringing more blood to his temporal lobe so he could understand the sound. Oprah interviewed David Blaine. What are you thinking about? He said, I'm thinking about absolutely nothing. It's like I go into the abyss. Everything is black. He absolutely turned off his brain. He didn't move a muscle in his body. He lowered down his heart rate. And because of that, he was able to use his oxygen at a slower rate and hold his breath for 19 minutes. I know, you're going to do it. Go ahead, YouTube, David Blaine on Oprah. All right, this was our general mammal notes. We're going to go now into mammals of the day. I can't wait for whales. Whales are going to be the next day. We can't do all the whales, but we'll do a lot of cool whales. And then after whales, dolphins. We got to talk about dolphins, seals, sea lions, walruses. There's so much more. I stop it there. Again, it's May. Let's finish this thing strong. Let's learn as much as we can. Let's enjoy what we're doing. I love it. Miss everybody. Everybody, it's kind of like we're here. It's our new normal. I can't wait to see you on our next class. See ya.